You feel it, don't you? The weight pressing down, the exhaustion deep in your bones, the voice inside whispering, I can't anymore. You've carried so much for so long, and now every step feels heavier than the last. But listen closely, because this moment is not your enemy. This exhaustion, this weariness, it is not here to defeat you. It is here to wake you up. Breathe. Feel the tiredness. Don't fight it. Accept it. You are tired because you have been moving. You are weary because you have dared to push forward. You feel drained not because you are weak, but because you have been strong for too long. There is a man walking through a desert, his legs trembling, his throat dry, the sun beating down on his skin. Every voice in his head tells him to stop, to lie down, to let go. But he keeps walking, not because he isn't tired, but because he understands something powerful. The moment he fully accepts his exhaustion, he is no longer controlled by it. There was a woman, a single mother, working 2 jobs, barely sleeping, holding the weight of an entire world on her shoulders. She wanted to scream, to give up, to disappear, but then she did something different. She sat down, closed her eyes, and instead of fighting the exhaustion, she let herself feel it. And in that moment, something shifted. She realized she wasn't tired of life, she was tired of resisting life. You see, exhaustion isn't just physical, it's mental, emotional. It is the resistance we build against the present moment. I shouldn't feel this way. I should be stronger. I should be more. These thoughts are what drain you, not life itself. So accept it. Accept that you are tired. Let it wash over you. Feel it, but don't become it. You are not your exhaustion. You are the awareness behind it. You are the presence that observes it. And when you stop fighting, something incredible happens. A second wind, a shift in energy, a deep breath that feels like fire returning to your soul. Think of the marathon runner hitting the wall at mile 20. His body screams for him to stop. But in that moment when everything in him says, he surrenders to the pain, and suddenly he finds a new rhythm, a power beyond his body. Because he understands this truth, the mind gets tired before the body. The mind gives up before the soul does. Right now, you may feel done. You may feel like collapsing, and that's okay. Let yourself feel it. But do not mistake this moment for the end, because it's not. It's a pause, a breath, a chance to see clearly. So breathe, accept, and when you are ready, stand. Take one more step, not because you aren't tired, but because you are. And that means you are still in the fight. That means you are still moving. That means you are still alive. And if you are alive, you are not done. You feel exhausted, drained to the core, like the weight of the world is pressing down on you. But before you mistake this feeling for defeat, understand one thing. Your exhaustion is not proof of weakness. It is proof that you have been moving forward. Every ache in your body, every moment of fatigue, every whisper of doubt, it all means that you are in motion, that you are on a journey, that you have dared to push beyond where you were yesterday. Think about the mountain climber scaling the peak. Halfway up, his muscles scream, his lungs burn, and his mind tells him to stop. But what does that exhaustion really mean? Does it mean he is incapable? No. It means he has climbed higher than most ever will. It means he has dared to take a path that others were too afraid to walk. The pain in his legs is not failure, it is proof of his progress. And that progress is something only those who move forward will ever experience. Imagine an artist spending sleepless nights pouring her soul into her work. Her hands tremble, her mind begs for rest. But she keeps going, not because she has to, but because something deep inside her knows that this exhaustion is the cost of creating something meaningful. It is the price of growth. The ones who never feel this kind of tiredness are the ones who never reach beyond their comfort zones. They stay where it's safe, where there is no struggle, but also no achievement. Your exhaustion is not a sign to quit. It is a reminder that you are alive, that you are striving, that you are doing something that matters. The hardest days, the ones where you feel like you have nothing left to give, are often the days that shape you the most. A runner doesn't grow stronger when he rests. He grows stronger when he runs past his limits, when he embraces the burn in his muscles and lets it drive him forward. A warrior is not made in moments of ease, but in moments of exhaustion, when the battle feels impossible, yet he keeps fighting. If you were weak, you would not feel this tired, because weakness does not come from effort, it comes from avoidance. Those who never push themselves, never stretch beyond their limits, never dare to reach for something greater, they never know the feeling of being truly exhausted. They never get to experience the depth of their own resilience. The ones who feel drained, the ones who feel like they have nothing left, those are the ones who are in the middle of their transformation. So do not see your exhaustion as a curse. Do not mistake it for a sign that you should stop. It is the opposite. It is proof that you are doing something few ever will. It is evidence that you are growing, that you are climbing, that you are becoming something greater. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are simply in motion. And that means you are still in the fight. You are tired, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally. You feel the weight of your responsibilities, the endless cycle of expectations, the constant need to push forward. And in the midst of it all, there is a voice inside that keeps resisting, a voice that says, I shouldn't feel this way. I should be stronger. I should have more energy, more motivation. But what if the real problem is not the exhaustion itself, but the resistance to it? What if the struggle isn't the weight you carry, but the way you fight against it? Imagine a river flowing effortlessly, carving its path through the landscape, never questioning the journey, never resisting the bends and turns. Now imagine a person standing in that river, trying to push against the current, exhausted not because the water is too strong, but because they refuse to move with it. That is how most people experience exhaustion, not as a natural part of life, but as a battle against what is. The body gets tired, but instead of accepting it, the mind fights it. The mind fills with thoughts of frustration, guilt, and self-judgment, and that mental resistance drains more energy than the exhaustion itself. There was a man who worked tirelessly, pushing himself beyond his limits, always seeking the next goal, the next achievement. He was not just tired, he was exhausted, frustrated, overwhelmed. He kept telling himself, I shouldn't be this tired, I should be able to handle more. And the more he resisted, the heavier the exhaustion became. Then one day he stopped, he took a deep breath, and instead of fighting it, he simply acknowledged it. I am tired. No judgment, no frustration, just awareness. And in that moment, something shifted. The exhaustion was still there, but it no longer consumed him. The energy he had been using to resist was suddenly freed, and for the first time in years, he felt a sense of peace. Your exhaustion is not the problem. The problem is the story you tell yourself about it, the belief that you are weak because you feel tired, the idea that you should be able to push through without pause, without rest, without feeling the weight of the journey. But everything in nature moves in cycles. The tides rise and fall, the sun sets so it can rise again. Even the strongest warriors rest before they fight their greatest battles. To resist exhaustion is to resist nature itself. When you accept your exhaustion, you take away its power over you. You create space for renewal, for energy to return naturally. You stop seeing it as a limitation and start seeing it as a sign, a reminder that you have been moving, striving, giving your best, and when you stop resisting, you realize something incredible. Exhaustion does not mean you are done. It means you are alive. It means you are growing. And most of all, it means you are still in the game. You are not tired of life. You are tired of resisting life. There is a difference. Life itself is not exhausting. It simply moves, flows, unfolds. The exhaustion comes from the struggle, the constant inner battle between what is and what you think should be. The mind races, filled with expectations, regrets, and endless thoughts about how things could be different. And in that resistance, energy is drained, not by life itself, but by the refusal to fully embrace it as it is. Think about a swimmer caught in a strong current. The instinct is to fight, to thrash against the water, to resist where it is taking them. And yet, the more they struggle, the faster they sink. But if they stop, if they surrender to the movement of the water, something miraculous happens. They float. The current is still there, the river still flowing, but instead of exhaustion, there is ease. The fight was never with the water, it was with themselves. There was a woman who spent years chasing perfection, trying to do everything right, trying to be strong when she felt weak, trying to force herself to be someone she thought she should be. And the more she tried, the more exhausted she became. Every day felt like a battle she was losing. Until one day she sat still, she stopped fighting. She let the exhaustion wash over her, not as a failure, but as a message. She wasn't tired of life. She was tired of the pressure, the expectations, the belief that she always had to be in control. And in that moment of surrender, she found something she had never felt before. Peace. Your exhaustion is not a sign that you are broken. It is a sign that you have been holding on too tightly, carrying too much, fighting against the natural rhythm of life. The mind clings to control, to certainty, to the belief that things should be different than they are. And in that clinging, suffering is born. But life is not meant to be fought. It is meant to be lived. The tree does not resist the wind. The ocean does not resist the storm. They bend, they move, they allow. And in that surrender, they remain strong. You are not here to fight against life. You are here to flow with it, to let yourself feel what you feel without judgment, to rest when you need rest, to embrace the journey with all its highs and lows without wishing it were different. The moment you stop resisting, something shifts, the weight lifts, not because life has changed, but because your relationship with it has. You realize that you are not weak for feeling tired. You are human. And when you finally allow yourself to be without force, without resistance, without expectation, life no longer feels like a battle. It feels like something you can breathe in, move with, and trust. And that is where real strength begins. The mind gives up before the body. Long before your muscles truly fail, long before your body reaches its true limit, the mind whispers that you are done. It tells you to stop, to slow down, to give in. But that voice is not the truth. It is simply fear disguised as fatigue. It is the mind trying to protect you from discomfort, from the unknown, from pushing beyond what feels safe. The body is capable of so much more than the mind allows it to believe. The true battle is not physical, it is mental. There is a reason why elite athletes talk about the moment when they feel like they have nothing left to give, yet somehow they keep going. A marathon runner hits the infamous wall around mile 20 when every fiber of their being screams for rest. But those who understand the mind know that the wall is an illusion. It is not the body shutting down. It is the mind trying to convince them to quit. The moment they push through, something incredible happens. The body, which only moments ago felt empty, finds new energy, a second wind, not because anything changed physically, but because they refused to listen to the voice that said they were finished. A soldier in the middle of battle does not stop when he feels tired. He cannot. He keeps going because he has no choice. He moves forward because the mission is bigger than his exhaustion. And time again, soldiers prove that the body can endure far beyond what the mind believes. They push through exhaustion, pain, and discomfort because they have trained themselves to silence the voice of doubt. There was a man who worked long hours, juggling responsibilities, chasing a dream that felt just out of reach. Every day he woke up exhausted. His mind told him to take it easy, to slow down, that he had already done enough. And for a while he believed it. But then he questioned that voice. Was he truly at his limit, or was his mind playing tricks on him? He pushed forward, just a little more, just beyond the moment where he thought he was finished. And suddenly he found more energy, more strength, more willpower. He realized he was nowhere near empty. His mind had simply tried to convince him he was. Most people quit not because they are truly done, but because their mind convinces them they are. They listen to the thoughts that say they are too tired, too weak, too drained. But those who achieve greatness know the truth. The body has reserves of strength waiting to be unlocked. The key is not in physical ability, it is in mental resilience. The moment you stop believing the lie that you are done is the moment you discover just how much more you have left to give. Your mind gives up first. But if you refuse to listen, if you choose to push beyond the illusion, you will realize that you are capable of far more than you ever imagined. Accept the exhaustion. Let it be what it is. Feel the weight in your body, the heaviness in your limbs, the fog in your mind. Do not fight it, do not resist it, do not judge it. Just allow it to exist, because the more you resist, the more it drains you, the more you fight against feeling tired, the heavier the exhaustion becomes. But when you let go of the struggle, when you stop seeing tiredness as an enemy, you create space, space to breathe, space to recover, space to realize that you are not your exhaustion, you are simply the one experiencing it. There is a moment in every struggle when the greatest relief comes not from pushing harder, but from surrendering to what is. A runner does not stop because he feels fatigue. He expects it. He welcomes it. He understands that exhaustion is simply part of the journey, not a sign that he should quit. The moment he accepts the tiredness, he stops wasting energy on fighting it. He moves with it instead of against it. And in that surrender, he finds new strength. A mother raising a child alone, working late into the night, waking up before the sun rises, barely having a moment to herself, she is exhausted. But when she stops resenting the exhaustion, when she stops thinking, I shouldn't feel this way, something shifts. She realizes the exhaustion is not weakness, it is love in motion, it is effort, it is proof that she is doing something that matters. The tiredness does not go away, but the suffering attached to it does. And in that moment, she finds the energy to keep going. The human body is an incredible thing. It does not truly shut down from exhaustion unless it has no choice. Your heart keeps beating, your lungs keep breathing, your legs keep moving. It is not the body that gives out first. It is the resistance in the mind, the belief that exhaustion means failure, the belief that feeling tired means you are not enough. But when you accept the tiredness, when you sit with it without judgment, you take away its power over you. You realize that you do not have to fight it, and in doing so, you conserve energy that would have been wasted on resistance. A warrior on the battlefield does not stop to complain about exhaustion. He does not waste energy resenting the struggle. He knows that every step forward, no matter how heavy, is still progress. He accepts the exhaustion as part of the path. And because of that, he keeps moving, long after others have given up. You are not weak because you feel tired. You are not broken because you crave rest. You are human. And the moment you stop fighting what you feel, the moment you simply let it be, you unlock something powerful. Energy that was buried beneath resistance, strength that was hidden beneath the battle in your mind. You do not have to become your exhaustion. You only have to accept it. And when you do, you will find that you are still capable of more than you ever thought possible. Greatness is not found in those who never struggle, never fall, never feel exhaustion. It is found in those who keep moving, not because they are strong all the time, but because they embrace their struggles. They understand that the weight they carry, the exhaustion they feel, the challenges they face are not signs of failure. They are proof of the journey, proof of effort, proof that they are pushing beyond where they once were. The greatest warriors do not fight because they feel invincible. They fight because they know that true strength is built in moments of weakness. A soldier on the battlefield does not wait until he feels energized before moving forward. He moves forward despite the weight in his body, despite the doubt in his mind, despite the pain. It is not an absence of struggle that defines him, it is his willingness to embrace it, to let it shape him rather than break him. A man working toward his dream will reach a point where he is exhausted, where every part of him wants to stop, to rest, to question whether it is worth it. This moment is where most people quit. Not because they are incapable, but because they mistake struggle for a sign that they are not meant to succeed. But the ones who keep going, the ones who refuse to turn back, those are the ones who rise, not because they were never tired, but because they did not let exhaustion define them. A mother raising her children alone, working long hours, juggling responsibilities that feel endless, she does not feel strong every day. There are nights when she breaks down, mornings when she questions how much more she can take, but she keeps going, not because she has unlimited energy, but because she has accepted that struggle is part of the process. She does not let it stop her, she allows it to fuel her. And in doing so, she builds a strength she never knew she had. An athlete does not become a champion by training only when they feel good. They become great by showing up when they are tired, when they are sore, when they are tempted to take the easy path. They push through the discomfort, not because they do not feel it, but because they know that struggle is necessary for growth. They embrace the pain, knowing that on the other side of it lies something greater. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not that one group never faces exhaustion or hardship. The difference is that those who succeed do not see struggle as a reason to stop. They see it as confirmation that they are on the right path. Every challenge, every moment of exhaustion, every ounce of doubt, it is all part of the process. And those who embrace it rather than run from it are the ones who go beyond what they ever thought was possible, not because they are always strong, but because they allow their struggles to shape them into something greater. Your second wind doesn't come from avoiding fatigue, it comes from surrendering to it and pushing through. The moment when you feel like you have nothing left, when every fiber of your being is telling you to stop, is the very moment where something deeper awakens. This is not about pretending that exhaustion doesn't exist. It is about understanding that the energy you seek is not found in resistance, but in acceptance. It is in the moment you embrace your exhaustion without judgment that you find the strength to go further than you ever thought possible. A runner in a marathon reaches a point where their body feels like it is shutting down. Their legs feel heavy, their breath is short, their mind is screaming for relief. This is the breaking point for most, but those who have trained their minds know that this is where the second wind comes. Not before, not when they are fresh, but right at the moment when it feels like they have reached their absolute limit. If they push forward, something shifts. The pain is still there, the exhaustion is still real, but suddenly there is energy where moments ago there was none. Their body responds not because the fatigue has disappeared, but because they stopped resisting it. A mother caring for her child through sleepless nights, barely holding herself together, reaches a moment when she thinks she cannot do another day. And yet when morning comes, she gets up. She moves forward, not because she has more energy than the night before, but because something inside her has decided that she will. And in that decision, in that surrender to the exhaustion rather than resistance against it, she finds the strength to keep going. A man chasing a dream, working day and night, fighting against obstacles that never seem to end, will inevitably hit a moment when he feels completely drained. His mind will tell him he is too tired, too beaten down, that he has done enough. And this is the moment where most give up, not because they have truly reached their limits, but because they believe the exhaustion means they are finished. But if he keeps going, if he simply takes one more step, he will find something waiting on the other side, a new source of energy, a second wind that he didn't know he had. Your second wind is always there, waiting to be unlocked. It does not come when you are comfortable. It does not come when you are fresh. It comes in the moment when you think you have nothing left, when you surrender to the struggle, when you move forward even when your body and mind beg you to stop. And in that moment, you realize that your limits were never real, that the exhaustion was only a threshold, that beyond it you have more strength, more resilience, more willpower than you ever imagined. You were never empty. You simply had to go far enough to find what was always inside you. Rest is not weakness. Rest is not failure. Rest is the foundation upon which strength is built. The world glorifies the grind, the hustle, the endless pushing forward, as if stopping for even a moment means you are falling behind. But even the greatest warriors rest before battle. Even the fiercest storms pass, so the skies can clear. Even the strongest bodies require moments of stillness to rebuild, to regenerate, to grow stronger than before. A soldier marching into battle does not fight endlessly without pause. He does not rush forward without strategy, without taking the time to breathe, to sharpen his blade, to regain his strength. He knows that exhaustion makes him vulnerable, that pushing beyond his limits without rest does not make him stronger. It makes him reckless. And so he rests not because he is weak, but because he is wise enough to know that true endurance is not about never stopping. It is about knowing when to pause so he can go further. A tree does not grow taller by constantly fighting against the wind. It grows by standing firm, by drawing strength from the soil, by allowing the seasons to change. In winter, it does not struggle to keep its leaves, it lets them go, trusting that in time new ones will grow. Nature does not resist rest, does not fight against stillness. It understands that rest is not the absence of growth. It is a necessary part of it. A mother raising her children, working tirelessly, pouring every ounce of herself into the lives of those she loves, may feel as though stopping, even for a moment, is selfish. But a mother who never rests, who never allows herself a breath, eventually reaches a point where she has nothing left to give. Her love does not fade, but her energy does. And when she finally allows herself to rest, when she lets go of the guilt and realizes that her strength is renewed in stillness, she returns not weaker but stronger. A runner does not become a champion by running endlessly without pause. Their muscles do not grow during the run. They grow in the moments of recovery. The body repairs itself, strengthens itself, adapts to the strain it has endured. Without that recovery, the body does not grow stronger, it only breaks down. And so it is with life. Without rest, without moments of stillness, you do not become greater, you only burn out before you reach your true potential. You are not failing when you rest. You are not weak for stepping back. You are preparing. You are allowing yourself the space to rebuild, to regain clarity, to restore the energy you need to keep moving forward. The strongest warriors, the greatest minds, the most resilient souls, none of them move endlessly without pause. They understand that true power does not come from mindless exhaustion. It comes from knowing when to push forward and when to pause, to breathe, to let the fire inside them grow stronger before they rise once more. You are not weak because you are tired. You are not failing because you feel exhausted. The mind gives up before the body, and the battle is not with fatigue itself, but with the resistance to it. The greatest strength is not found in avoiding exhaustion, but in understanding it, embracing it, and pushing beyond it when needed. There will be moments when your body feels drained, when your mind screams for you to stop, when the weight of the journey seems unbearable, but exhaustion is not a signal to quit. It is proof that you are pushing yourself beyond the limits you once thought defined you. It is not the enemy, it is the gateway to your next level. The second wind, the hidden reserves of strength, the power you never knew you had, they all lie just beyond the point where most people stop, but pushing forward is only one side of the equation. Strength is not just about endurance, it is also about knowing when to rest, when to step back, when to allow yourself the space to recover. Rest is not weakness, it is fuel. Even the strongest warriors pause before battle. Even the fiercest storms pass before the skies clear. Even the greatest minds retreat into stillness to sharpen their vision. The body and mind are capable of extraordinary things, but only when they are given both the challenge of movement and the gift of rest. So, accept the exhaustion, but do not be defined by it. Push when you must, pause when you need, and always remember, your limits are not real. They are only thresholds waiting to be crossed. You are capable of more than you believe, stronger than you know, and closer than you think. The only thing standing between you and your greatest potential is the moment you decide to move forward. One more step, one more breath, one more moment beyond what you thought was possible. That is where your power lies.